Hi, everyone. So, do you have someone moving away this summer? Do you have a child going off to college in the fall? Is your quilting guild getting ready to do a farewell to the present president? Because a new president of the guild is coming. But you're going to be making a quilt with the friendship or snowball block in it. If you're looking for that pattern and you like quilting in the hoop, like we do here, then you've tuned into the right video, because this month at Sew in Common, our July block of the month is the one and only little bitty snowball block, or what I call the friendship block. And I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Hi, everybody. I'm Diana from Sew in Common. I'm the owner, I'm the designer, and I'm the lead educator here. And I'm thrilled to have you all with us. And this month, our free block of the month is our Build a Quilt in the Hoop Friendship and Snowball Block. And I've called it both for a reason, because I grew up knowing this block as the friendship block, because we always would make these and use permanent marker to sign them, or we'd hand stitch, before we had embroidery machines, hand stitch our names and stuff on them, put them into a big, beautiful quilt, and it would be a great going away present for a president or someone on our board in our quilting guild. Or it would be a gift to someone moving away from your hometown. Maybe a good friend was moving away and you wanted to give them a quilt. Or it could be, like I said, you're going to send a quilt off to college with your college student. This block is perfect. And that's why I call it the friendship block, because that's how I grew up knowing about this block. But some people call it the snowball block. Now, here's how I know this. I know this as a square that has had the ends snowballed. So a friendship block with snowballed corners. That's how the snowball part came in to my purview 50 some odd years ago. But it was always called the friendship block. And it is perfect, because if you are making one as a gift to give away, you can sign the inside of it. Everyone giving one to put into a large quilt could make it in their own color scheme. Or if you are making one for a child going off to college, maybe it's not your child, maybe it's your niece or your nephew or something like that. Or you're making one for someone's grandchild or something. This is perfect, because as long as the center part, the snowball, is a light color that can either be written on or stitched on our sewing machine or an embroidery machine, these corner colors can be any color you want. Now, traditionally, a snowball block or a friendship block, the center is white, because that can be easily seen. But I say use any light color that you want. And in this video, I'm going to walk you step by step how to make this video, and we'll trim it down and we'll talk about it some more as well. So I think this is the perfect month to do this, in July, because if we have somebody moving away at the end of the summer, we've got some time to get it put together. If we have a college student going off sometime in August, we have time. Now, you might be making maybe a t-shirt memory quilt or something for that college student. But there's one thing you always need on the back of our quilts, or in the front corner. I like putting them in the front corner. That's our quilt label. This block also makes a great quilt label. I have to get these little threads off of there. There we go. So this makes a great quilt label, because you have plenty of room to put all your information. And if you're sending this off to a college student, you want to make sure that there is some sort of label so that they can identify it as theirs. Things get lost in school laundries. Somebody wraps up in it, takes it back to their dorm room, and forgets who it belongs to, and they end up with your quilt, which it should have been in your kids' room. So a quilt block will help with that. Also, if you're making a different type of quilt for a friend moving away, again, use this as a quilt label. And July is the perfect month, because we still have time to get things done by the end of the summer. and get this put on there. So this month's free pattern can be found at our website, sewincommon.com. And like I said, in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to make this block. You'll need typically 2 colors, one for the center and one for the 4 corners. But if you wanted to spice it up a little bit, if you wanted to do a whole quilt out of these, you could. And you could have every one of them have different corners, or have every one of them completely different. I talk about later in the video, I'll talk about maybe how you could put this together as a table runner or something like this. So it's a small block this month. It's not our typical big 15 by 15 blocks, but it's an important block because there's lots of ways you can use it. You could even throw it in the center of a block. So here's last month, the quatrefoil block. What about instead of putting that center block in, you threw in this block? Now look how that changes up our quatrefoil. That would be gorgeous as a sofa cushion, something like that. So this block can be really important because it can really mix and match into our quilts in lots of ways. So I'm ready to take us over and start doing some demonstrating on how this gets put together. Then we'll talk about trimming it up and all, and then we'll come back for our final because I have some more information to share with you. So let's get over to our demonstration. Okay, so here we are at the machine, and I'm going to show you how to stitch out this friendship / snowball block, okay? So I've gone ahead and stitched out my boundary box, and I have my fabrics prepared. So I'm going to put a little of my glue stick right in my box there so that my first piece of fabric will stick to it. And remember, first pieces of fabric go right side up, always right side up. So I'm going to lay this down. And I've got at least 1/4 inch all the way around. That's good. You'll have plenty. My piece of fabric here is a little bit smaller than yours, but you'll have plenty because we're not actually going to stitch out a square. We're going to kind of stitch out a square with the corners lopped off, basically. And we'll do a little trimming here. And of course, you can use your stiletto if you need to. This is kind of a stop sign, I guess, shape, actually. Yeah, there we go, stop sign. Okay. Now, we want to, oh, you know what I did? I skipped the first, so this should have been our placement. I just went ahead and put my fabric over it. So now we're going to do what would be the placement stitch, and I'll go ahead and go over it again so you can see that was my goof. I should have stitched that placement line directly onto the stabilizer. It's been a long day. There we go. And we've had storms too. Boy, have we had storms. We need the rain, but the storms are kind of crazy. All right, there we go. Now we're going to take this out of our hoop and do a little trimming. Let me adjust my camera down. There we go. So what I want to do is, I don't care about this part, or this part, or this part, but I do want to trim off my corners. I'm just going to come in here, eyeball roughly 1/4 inch, and just trim all 4 of those corners off, because the next thing we're going to do is actually put on the corners in the other fabric, in fabric 2. And you know, when I was thinking about making this the July block, a friend of mine said, oh, you really should do something patriotic, you know, because of 4th of July. And I like that idea. However, I know a lot of you don't live in the United States. So I wanted to do something for everyone. And I got to thinking about people getting ready to send their kids off and stuff. So I thought, you know what? A lot of folks might be making their friendship blocks and stuff. So now I've laid my piece right sides together because this is going to be my first corner here. And as always, I've given you plenty of fabric. Whoops, let's move that up. There we go. I've given us plenty of fabric and all, but I always do that. It's like that saying in carpentry, measure twice, cut once. Well, I'm like, give plenty of fabric and then stitch because you never want to run out. Now I'm going to flip this corner and we will stitch this down. So we technically are making a square, but what we're doing is we are doing what we call snowballing the corners, but typically this block is used as a friendship block. It is a square with snowballed corners. There we go. Now we're going to do the next one. This goes pretty quickly too. This whole block takes about 3 minutes at 700 stitches a minute on my machine. So you can get it done pretty fast. And so you could turn out a lot of these. If you have someone going away and you're doing a farewell quilt for someone in a guild, something like that, then if you wanted to do a whole bunch of these and they were going to sign their names and things with permanent marker, then you could whip out a whole bunch of these really quickly for the quilt. However, if it's a quilting guild, they ought to be making their own, right? So that everyone has one that's been made. But sometimes I know guilds do them this way so that every single block is the same in regard to size and all. Now we're going up to our top left corner and we're going to stitch that down. But this block goes really quickly. And then the other reason I thought about this block as well is this is a great block to use for your quilt label. Once you're done with this piecing, before you take it out of the hoop, if you wanted, you could set up your words and stuff on your machine, and you could do all the stitching in here. We've already got stabilizer and everything going on, so this would be a great quilt label as well. You've got a lot of space in here to do the actual wording and stuff that you might want to do here. So let's say for your quilt that you're doing for that college student going away, make another one of these and put it on the back as the quilt label. Because although I will admit I'm a little lax in doing my quilt labels for family quilts, you know, the ones we throw around in the living room. If I give a gift or something, I'm really good about doing my label. And I think if you're sending this off to school, to college with a student, they definitely want some way to say, hey, this is mine. If it gets lost in the laundry room or anything like that, or someone else decides they love it and they decide to take it, that's not good, right? Alrighty, now I am going to use my embroidery tape to tape my junctions here because we've got a lot of them here. I don't want my needle getting caught or my foot getting caught on here. So I'm actually going to do something a little bit different than normal. Normally I'd put them right on the junctions, but this time I'm going to tape them down up where the fabric is a little floppy up in here, because then it'll just go right over both of those. There we go. And then I'm just doing this block in these colors. Typically you do the center, as I said, in a light color, typically a white, but you don't have to do white. Even if you're doing a goodbye quilt for someone, if you're doing it as a group, unless the group has decided that it absolutely must have the center in white. Do it in whatever solid light color you like. I think that would be great. I think it would be great to have a goodbye quilt where every block is in different colored fabrics from the person that made it. I think that would be a beautiful idea. Now we're just doing our last stitch, which gives us our border, and it gives us our stitch line. Oops, see what I did there? All right, it actually did okay. Even though it crumpled it up a little bit there, it doesn't need to be fixed. It's still okay. So I lucked out there. I should have probably done one a little bit closer, but you know how I say, I'm not perfect. Don't want to be perfect. Don't even try to be perfect. But I can fix that right up. There's not a problem there at all. Alrighty. So our block is done. And when I trim all that out, you won't even notice that. It didn't like sew it into here or anything like that. So there is our block. And you can see when we trim it out, you're going to see the snowballed corners. So we're going to go over to our other camera now and we'll do just that. Okay, here we are under our other camera. I'm just going to take everything out of the hoop now. There we go. Get rid of that piece of tape and get my ruler. And I'll go ahead and peel off these pieces of tape. No need having them on here while I'm cutting if they don't have to be. There we go. Now I will go ahead and line up my ruler, my 1/4 inch mark right on this black line, which is my stitch line, just like we do on every single block when we're trimming it. Alrighty, we're nice and lined up. And here we go. Yeah, I definitely need to put on a new blade, I think. You can always tell with a pinking blade. They get a little sticky. I would love to see some of you do a bunch of these, maybe as a pillow, or put something like these blocks together as a runner, a table runner or something in different colors. Like use maybe the same in your corners, but different colors in the middle, or vice versa, or do each and every one different, but in your colorway. So maybe if you have, well, if you're like me and you love this aqua color, do a bunch of different aqua colors, fabrics, but do different ones for each block and then put them together for a runner. Since this is 5 inches, I think 3 across would give you a 15-inch wide runner. That would be perfectly big. If you like a smaller runner, 2 across would give you 10. You could add a border or something to them. But there we go. There it is. Isn't that a fun little block to do? And now you can see that when everything is sewn together, you won't see this part at all. I love that. I hope you all enjoy that. So let's go back over to our main camera now. Okay, everybody. So we have put our block together. We've trimmed it up. And like I said, this could be a great block to turn into a table runner or into a pillow cover, cushion cover, something like that, or placemats, things like that. And I will do some more samples of it throughout the month for us. We can talk about it more. But before we go, let me take down that banner right there. Before we go, I want to talk a little bit about our latest product here at Sew in Common, called our Build a Quilt Quilt Piecing in the Hoop, our Basic Block Set 1. This actually posted and went live on the website yesterday, Saturday. And I know some of you have been looking. Some of you have already picked yours up. I'm so thrilled for you. But in case you didn't see the little live video that I did yesterday, let me tell you that in the packet, you're getting full written instructions. And I've completely restructured how I write out my instructions. So starting with our free block of the month this month, they're going to be done the new way, as well as how we did them for the new set. And so you're going to get cut sheets for every single block in the set. You get the half square triangle, the quarter square triangle, and the square, all done in 4 sizes. So you get 4 digital files. You're getting for 12 digital files to make 12 different blocks. So the 3 main blocks in 4 sizes each. And then you're going to get your coloring sheets. You're going to get your step-by-step written and diagram instructions. And in here, there's also a link towards the end of the packet to give you a step-by-step video. I've recreated how I did the videos for it as well, step-by-step. And in that video, in the description, it's broken down by chapters. So if you want to go and see just the quarter square triangle portion, you know what your time tick is to jump to, that sort of thing. So you're going to get all the information that you need in here. You're also going to get your placement templates, all of that. So that is out on the website at sewuncommon.com as well. As I said in the live yesterday, all of our digital products are final sale. So I do want to let you know, if you need to contact me, if you have questions before you purchase, please click on, or please send me a message at support@sewuncommon.com. And that way I can answer those for you first. Now, I will also say that someone contacted me yesterday who said they did not do PayPal and could they pay another way. How I understand and how I see it when I go into that link that says PayPal on it, it also takes you to where you can choose to do a debit or credit card without having to have a PayPal account. So that should be okay for everybody, whether you do PayPal or not. I need to figure out if I can change that button so it says kind of both. So I apologize if there was any confusion there for anyone. But if you have any difficulties with that, drop me a note and I'll see if I can't help you out for sure, because we want you all out there making great quilts with the new Build a Quilt set. So I wanted to share that with you. And you can go to the website now to pick up your friendship block. And I'd love to hear in the comments if you have used a friendship or snowball block before. Instead of a snowball block, we called it a snowball block because we make it look like the snowball. But if you've used this block before in any of your quilts, comment below, because I'd love to hear from you how you use it, how you intend to use this little block. Would love to do that. And also, if you want to post your photos, you can post them at our Facebook page, Sew in Common. We love seeing your pictures over there. You inspire everyone, including me, when you show us your photos. So please do that. And of course, if you are new to our page, or if you've been watching for a while and you haven't clicked that subscribe button, please click the subscribe button, become part of the Sew in Common family. We love having you here. And then click the little bell so you can set your notifications. And that way you won't miss out on anything that's coming. I have some great new videos coming. I have a great one coming this week for you. Great ones coming throughout on the Sundays for the rest of the block of the month this month. And I can't wait to see what you all start making with the new Build a Block set. This quilt right here, the big star, that was all made with the Build a Block set. We couldn't do this one because it doesn't have this block in it, but this block here, the flying geese, that's coming in our next set. So, and that next set is coming pretty quickly. I'm trying to get 2 more basic sets out for you guys by the end of the year, so hopefully that'll happen. But you can still also get your free log cabin and log cabin variation blocks out on the website as well. So take advantage of those free blocks, okay? So go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our Sew Uncommon family. And until next time, everybody, go sew life beautiful, make some beautiful quilts, enjoy the rest of the summer weather that we're having, and let us know what you do with this month's block of the month, the friendship block. Okay, bye for now, everyone.